And this is Baruch Flashman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I've been traveling and working with really very little time other than just in the morning for the Sefer Tzniuta. Now we're looking at some other things as well. I didn't get a chance to really get into the Zohar. So now we're in Parshas Tazria. We're over here on page Tov Kuf Lamed Dalet. And this may be a short piece. We'll see how it goes. I just ran into this, and I think it's just really, really nice for those of you, Kabbalistically oriented. The Matuk Pedevash brings this thing, wherever you see that the Matuk Pedevash starts writing in the Rashi script, it means that on the side he wants to give us some background. It's an intro to an idea. Now, I haven't been studying this parsha. I just opened up the book, flipping through. I saw this because I have this little finger here that I pointed at it, and I think it's it's a good thing. So let's see what's playing. It says like L'havin Maimer Rabban. If you want to understand what we're going to be start learning about, and incidentally, today is what? It's the fourth day of the week. Today is the day of Netzach. We're going to have success here in trying to understand this. God should bless us all. L'havin zeh, and understand this. L'havin Maimer Rabban Nachdim Bekitzer Masha Kasav Arizal Be'etz Chaim, and he says words in the Shar Kaf Vav. First parak. He says, Ki inyan ha-tzelem. Now, there's a concept here of the tzelem. Now, everybody heard the word tzelem. Tzelem means shade, shadow, something like that. Tzelem then means something very different in Kabbalah. So he says there's a concept called the tzelem. It's the tzadi de tzelem, the lama de tzelem, and the mem de tzelem. And it's a whole subject. But now he also look at it in a certain way. He says the concept of the tzelem, what is a tzelem? Hu levush. It's a clothing, dak, very, very thin, ruchni, completely spiritual, hamalvish as haneshama, that covers over the neshama. Vuhu davar b'mutzah, so it's like an in-between layer, bein haneshama, between the neshama, which is panimi, v'haguf adoyim l'shneihem, and the body. So it's like in between, it's half body, it's half neshama. Something like that. It's a lavush that has a little bit of both. V'hu tzelem v'diyuken l'shneihem. So therefore it works as a tzelem and an image for both of them. I'm not sure exactly what diyuken means, but it's like that word. So v'haneshama mislaveches beguf. Then the neshama clothes itself into the body. B'msoas lavush tzelem hazeh. By being clothed inside of this medium called the tzelem. So tzelem, there's a word for it. You could use it. It's a medium. It balances between the complete outside and what's the kudusha on the inside. So that's why he says this. The neshama is a chelik, the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. It doesn't need to be fixed. What is the main purpose of man in this world? He says, sarif is to refine. Another word for refining is a sarif is more like burning it, but it means into bar and to refine out, and make white. As hatzalam hana'aserem and nitzutzos, in other words, to purify the tzalam. The Lashon white we see from those who've been learning the Idris is the concept of extreme kindness. Please, no comment from the peanut gallery. Thank you. Zahine haneshama einet tzarich tikun. That's what I said. L'olam hazeh hu letzorach levara v'lolaven es hatzalam hanaasa minat nitzutzim. So he says nitzutzim means sparks. So he says, what is the tzalam made out of? Let me read it again. V'ikar bias ha'adam la'olam. Why you are in this world is to refine this tzalam. The tzalam is made na'aseh mahanitzutzim shenaflo toicha klipos noga. So we go back to the shvira. The shvira was kedusha falling away from kedusha, and it's characterized as sparks, nitzutzim. Shenaflo toch klipos noga, that fell into the very most outside, or I would say the most inside klipa. The klipa noga is a whole thing to study and to understand what's going on there, but basically it's a klipa that has half kedusha and half not. So therefore, it's possible for something kadosh to be involved with it, but it's dangerous. V'tikun al yedei ha-Torah v'ha-mitzvah. So how v'tikuno, so if you want to know how it is, this tzelem, which is touching also, let's face it, the bad guys, but has within it pure Kedusha, this is refined by the way of studying Torah and doing mitzvahs. And according to the way that a person is able to fix his tzelem, kocho, like this, niknasim bo chelgi neshama. In other words, the neshama never changes. It's a light from the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. So this is reality, ultimate reality, but the world that we live in is not. Some people say it's 80% bad. So really to find the 20% of Kedusha is not so easy. We're working on it. But the whole point is to bring that neshama into this world. So therefore you have to work at the protection. It's like an armor around this neshama, so to speak, that knows how to manage its way through the klipa noga, hopefully. How does it learn how to do this? Torah and mitzvahs, as we said. So then when a person dies, then this tzelem is clothed in a neshama, shebasocha. So in other words, the wrapper, when a person dies, the wrapper gets absorbed into the neshama, shebasocha, which is inside of it, betoch levush zach ruchni, and inside of a clothing which is very, very fine, very pure, purely non-physical spirit. Shena'asa lo loven leganed, Shena'asa lo beganed, that's made for this tzelem and this neshama and ganed. The mitoraso mitzvoisev, and actually the method by which this comes in is writing through the person's Torah and his mitzvahs, shezacha bechem ba'olam hazeh, that he has merited these things in this world. Okay, let me see a little bit more. I'm going to stop for one second, then I'm going to take a break. Now, let me go on a little bit more. The Matuk brings this. Od mufa b'shar kavonos, Rosh Zion and Sukkos. Because Sukkos is a concept of or that's over us. Sheyesh ba'adam tzelem echad, because a man has a tzelem. This is, we're quoting now. Now we had just a whole idea of how the tzelem works in terms of guiding the neshama into this world, doing Torah and mitzvahs, and how it's able to be absorbed back into the neshama, which is pure kedusha. Now we'll talk about something else. He says there's another way to look at it. We see this in Shar Kavonos. Sheyesh ba'adam tzelem echad, because a man has one tzelem. He has a tzelem. Kamasha kasav ach b'tzelem yischalak ish, because this is a pasuk. So he said, off with the tzelem, a man goes. So now we have a little idea of what he means by tzelem. They'll see a little bit more here. Bo'od shnei tzlalim, and then there's another two tzlalim, Kamasha kasav ad shiyapuach hayom v'nasa had tzlalim, because we have another pasuk until the air, into the day blows away, and travels away. I guess the tzlalim, the tzlalim. These two tzelems. V'hem na'asim min ha'aretz, and what is the tzelim made? The tzelem made. They are made min ha'aretz, from a glow of the kli, of the vessel, of the chosim shebiyesod the nukva. He says, I'm not really sure that I understand the purpose of the 100%, the purpose of us. The word chosim means seal, like close something up. Na'asa min ha'aretz, from a glow that comes from the seal that's found at the yesod, which is the female bottom part that gives birth and so on and so forth, the nukva. It seals it up, closes it up. Why? Because what's inside of the yesod of the nukva could be tremendously kadosh. And so once again, you have the possibility of the bad guys getting in there, as we all can understand from this world. And by this, that the tzelem is a part of this glow or this radiance that's coming off of this closure which protects the kedusha. So therefore the chosim neshameres, that chosim which is coming from this radiance, It guards nishma sa'ada, the neshama of the man that's, let's say, that this is going to be born into a man. Just like we say the metaphor for a woman giving birth as she births to a child. It's the same idea in the spiritual world as a birth too. And the kedusha that's within it, because now we're talking about neshama, something, chelik, from the Ein Baruch Hu. Min ha-chitzayim, it protects from the chitzayim. Shelo yisachzu bo ein sham, so they should not get a hold of her and look over there. Now, the Mikdash Melech, which he's about to say right here, is v'kosev ha-Mikdash Melech, the Mikdash Melech, which was original pirush that all of the older, the prior Mikubalim knew. They knew a lot more than we know. And so therefore, they didn't need all so many words like the Matuk trying to constantly introduce us to another introduction to another introduction. That's what Yaakov Cronenberg used to say, that the whole Kabbalah is an introduction to an introduction. A door that leads you to a door that leads you to a door. But we do, in fact, just to make a metaphor, just to make a pun, we adore the doors. So he says, because of a Mikdash Melech, he writes like that, the purpose of a man being born into this world, who levarer es nitzutzim, is to refine the sparks of Kedusha, nitzutzim kadeshim hashaychim alav, that pertain to him. So this really sounds a lot like a Rabbeinu Kodesh, Rabbi Nachman. So Rabbi Nachman says, Azamra lelokai bodi. Each one, that is, you sing your song, don't sing my song. Some people have harmony. Okay, sing together, but that's your voice and my voice. So we can work it together. But it has to be the development of who you are. And that's what he says. He says, Kadeshim Hashaychim Allah, that you have to do the things that you can do. And I would say that once with Chavrusa was saying, work on the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that you can understand, because that's what you can understand doesn't mean the other guy never may understand it because he's looking somewhere else. The fruit, that's the fruit for you. That's what I'm saying. Shenaflo minafsho, all of this that we're talking about, these little netzutzos that fell from the person's soul, bechet adam arishon, beklipas noga, and they fell into that medium ground that I was telling you before, which is called the klipas noga. So the refinement process is, it comes from the mitzvahs that a person fulfills. And from these nitzutzim then, na'asat salam the nafsho, this becomes then the salam for his nafsho, for his nefesh. Now, he's using the word nefesh, and I don't think instead of neshama. So as I've said before in other shiurim, that people should hear the backgrounds on this, is that na'asa is that nefesh is a different level of kedusha, but it is also kadosh. But it's a different level. It's not the level of the neshama. It's neshama, ruach, and nefesh. So he said, Na'asat salam the nafsho. V'gam ha'av v'ha'im, also the parents. Gefit zuchusim, according to how refined they are and their merits. Yamshicha nefesh lehivoled. That's all of that is what pushes the child out. And mavarim kitzas and nitzutzim, and then that itself, the kavanas of the parents and the kedusha that they're trying for. And for this mavarim kitzas nitzutzim hashaycham al havlad. So therefore, the refinement process starts right here. Of all of the netzutzim that are shaking, that pertain to this child that's going to be born, miklipas noga, and pulling him out, pulling those parts out of the klipas noga. Understand that we understand in spiritual sense that klipas noga is the most outside aspect, or the aspect right next to darkness. So it is half dark, half kadosh. And so there's a whole inyan in the Rab about this. It's beautiful too. Sheyiyot salam ulavush the nefesh of vlad. There should become a salam, clothing for the vlad, for the nefesh. This is the physical nefesh of the vlad, the physical aspect of his spirituality. And if God helps me get back from my trip, which I hope to be able to do tomorrow, then I really, be back tomorrow. So then I hope that I'll be able to get into this a little bit more. Once again, Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and hope God blesses you today, the day of Netzach, with success in the things that he just said something. What you need today is not what I need. And it could be that what you need right now, let's say like the time where I'm at right now is 9:38. So if you could change by 10:38, it could change by 10:39 what I need. But the fact of the matter is to try to bring the Kedusha into everything you do. As Rabbi Memon says, you could do it while you're walking. You could think about the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. You could just bring him into your lifestyle. I want you to be into me. That's an effort from the bottom to the top. So I want to bless everybody, and we should all be zeicha to have a nitzach dik day today. Kol tov.